Astarte is one of the most significant and enduring goddesses of the ancient Near East, worshipped by the Phoenicians, Canaanites, and other Semitic cultures. She was a goddess of love, fertility, war, and the heavens, often associated with the planet Venus. Her influence spread widely across the Mediterranean and beyond, leaving an indelible mark on later civilizations and shaping the identities of goddesses such as the Greek Aphrodite and the Roman Venus. She was both a nurturer and a fierce warrior, embodying a duality that made her one of the most powerful figures in ancient mythology. Astarte was commonly depicted as a radiant and commanding presence. Some images show her adorned with a crescent moon, representing her celestial power, while others depict her holding weapons or standing alongside lions, emphasizing her dominion over both love and war. Unlike many fertility goddesses who were solely linked to motherhood and nurturing, Astarte was an active force. She was not only the bringer of life but also the wielder of destruction when necessary. This balance of passion and power made her unique among the deities of the ancient world. Her worship was widespread, particularly among the Phoenicians, who carried her cult far beyond the Levant. Through their vast trade networks, Astarte's influence reached Cyprus, Egypt, North Africa, and even parts of Spain. In some regions, she merged with local deities, becoming closely associated with Isis in Egypt and later Tanit in Carthage. Her temples were centers of religious life, and rituals in her honor often reflected the belief that sexuality and divine power were deeply connected. Some practices, such as sacred prostitution, were seen as a way to channel her blessings of fertility and prosperity, reinforcing the idea that love and sensuality were not merely human experiences but divine gifts. However, Astarte's influence was not always welcomed. In the biblical tradition, she was condemned as a foreign idol, with her worship seen as a threat to the monotheistic traditions of Israel. The prophets spoke out against her, warning of divine punishment for those who followed her. She was often mentioned alongside Baal, another prominent Canaanite deity, as a rival to the Hebrew god. Efforts were made to erase her cult, and over time, her name became associated with moral corruption and spiritual downfall in biblical narratives. Yet, despite these efforts, her worship persisted in various forms, and her legacy continued to influence later religious and cultural traditions. The presence of Astarte in history and mythology speaks to a broader theme of the divine feminine and its role in human civilization. She was not a passive or submissive figure. She was active, influential, and powerful. She represented the unrestrained aspects of femininity, encompassing love, beauty, passion, independence, and even war. Her ability to bridge the realms of creation and destruction set her apart from many of her contemporaries in the ancient pantheon. Even today, Astarte remains a fascinating figure for scholars, feminists, and spiritual seekers. She represents an ancient reverence for the divine feminine that has often been suppressed or forgotten in later patriarchal societies. The echoes of her worship can still be found in modern goddess spirituality movements, where she is honored as a symbol of feminine power and resilience. Astarte's story is one of survival. Though her temples may have crumbled and her name may have been vilified in later religious traditions, she continues to capture the imagination of those who study ancient mythology and seek to understand humanity's relationship with the divine. Whether as a goddess of love, war, fertility, or the celestial heavens, Astarte remains a powerful symbol of the sacred feminine, a force both beautiful and formidable, whose influence endures across time.